Hey, we all like to go out and eat, maybe have a cocktail or two. We don't really know what goes on behind the kitchen doors. That's what this show is all about. The one man who spent most of his life behind those doors. The great chef Pascal is here to take us behind the kitchen doors with, you got a really cool guest today here again.
Thank you. Hopefully this is...
The which one?
This is less than half of my life, you know.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you still got plenty.
Well, you started when you were probably 6 or... What was the first... Well, how old were you when you first went behind the kitchen door? How old were you? Professionally, not just...
Professionally.
18, 16?
15.
Wow.
15. My first job in the kitchen, yeah.
What did you do?
Cook.
But you didn't just... that's amazing, because many times you have to start off cleaning dishes or doing...
Yeah,
No,
I was at a cashier at Burger King.
See, there you go.
See, good for you.
Yeah.
Well, my mother, who was a... I don't want... This is not my
I know, it's not your show, but we got into it, so we got to explain it.
My mother, who was a fantastic home cook and entertainer a lot, and she didn't want me to spend my school holidays or school vacation at home. She said, I'm going to get you a job for the summer. And she knew I loved to cook, and then because she taught me when I was 14 how to make a mayonnaise from scratch.
Wow.
And,
Wow.
so that was my first experience.
That was your calling
really.
card.
That's amazing.
Yes.
All right, well, now that we know...
So I start cooking in the kitchen right away for 2 months every summer. And since there, I'm
Sits there.
still cooking.
All right, so now introduce your guest.
Yes,
'Cause she's
now.
got an amazing story and some amazingly cool places she runs here in Orange County.
I'm so amazed with my friend, and can we call you chef, entrepreneur, or restaurateur?
What's the correct title? What do
I'm
we
a
do?
restaurateur. I'm not a chef. I wish I was a chef.
but there's a few things that you've been cooking, and we're going to talk from a success story. Start from a mini donut to an empire restaurant. How do you get there? So, chef, entrepreneur, Nguyen.
Nguyen. He doesn't know how to say Vietnamese last names here.
Leslie
Leslie Nguyen.
Nguyen.
Thank you.
That I admire extremely, and I'm very curious to maybe she's going to share.
Well, tell us a couple
what
of
it
concepts,
takes.
too. Let's introduce those
Oh,
before you
okay.
launch them in here.
So I know you. I first met you because somebody told me, we need some little donuts for an event, and you need to make it, to meet this lady, and she make it's called Miss Mini
Donuts.
Miss Mini Donuts.
Yeah.
A catering service specializing in gourmet mini donuts.
But I have to say, the donuts were really mini, but with a good thing because you eat more than one.
Yeah.
But and they all were decorated because you're also an artist and a food designer.
Yeah.
Because you can decorate it for any theme. You pick your theme. For the season. It could be for Mother's Day. Could be for birthday. Could in holiday time.
Yeah.
You always.
I can even
the
add
theme.
your logo or your face on there.
Yes. Are you still doing that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Wonderful. And so.
That's one. That's just one thing. I'm
That's
looking at a
one
resume
thing.
here.
Yeah. And yes, Paul, I know. Let me keep
Oh, my
going.
goodness. Well, I want to jump into the big ones here. Yeah.
No, but because I had to go pick up the donut at that in the back of the kitchen. I said,
Yeah.
why back of the kitchen? I found out that it was not just a donut place. She also started developing restaurant concept.
Yeah, and it's so funny because recently someone had said, this is super shady. You have to pick up the donuts in a random spot.
No, actually, it's the back door of the kitchen.
Yeah.
You know?
Out the back door.
Yeah, out of the back door. And so...
Yeah,
that's
so I
why
use the kitchen inside a Bosscat.
Yeah. So kitchen doors is right there. It's a real kitchen door
Yeah.
to knock in, on honestly. And then you developed this Bosscat concept of restaurant,
Yes.
and you also have developed bar concept. You know, tell us a little bit about your bar concepts.
The bar concepts.
Yes.
So we have Bosscat Kitchen and Libations, 10 Sushi and Cocktail Bar, and then we just opened Baba G's. That used to be Bibelos. Did you ever go to Bibelos
Yes.
in Orange? So
Yes.
we
That was
changed it
there
up.
for a long time.
Yeah, 35 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the son of the previous owner is still a partner. And this is his vision of how he wanted Bibelos, more fast casual, QSR, quick service restaurant. We order at the counter, and he just wanted to simplify things, make it easier and a little bit more manageable.
Yeah.
Because if he was taking over the business, he didn't want to be overwhelmed with all the mundane, everyday things with the restaurant, right? So he wanted to simplify things. So this was his vision of that.
So Biblos is a very symbolic name from the Mediterranean.
Yes, in Lebanon. Yes, it's a
Yeah,
city in Lebanon. Yeah,
Lebanon.
they're Lebanese.
And I know Biblos also because there's a famous hotel in Saint-Tropez called the Biblos.
No.
Oh, that
Yeah,
sounds
yeah.
fancy. I want to go there.
Yeah. That's why when I saw the sign, I said, oh, I need to go try. And it's right across one of your Bosscat restaurants
Yeah,
as
it's
well.
right across the street from
In
Bosscat.
Orange, by the Orange.
How many
Circle.
boss cats are there now?
So we have 4 Bosscats. There's one in Irvine, Orange. We have one in Houston, Texas, and the Woodlands, Texas.
Yeah,
We
like
got-
you're not busy enough on Orange.
Yeah.
You have to go to Texas. You know? You don't go to Colorado, no, you go straight to Texas.
Yeah. Oh, Colorado was on the list. But
So can I ask you 2 quick questions, and
Sure.
I'll let the chef pick up here. How did you? I'm looking at your resume. It says born in Louisiana and then raised here in Laguna Niguel. You worked as a hostess, a server, a cashier, a bartender, dive bars, biker bars. How does that turn into creating restaurant concepts that succeed and grow?
all the things. It kind of happened. I don't want to say by accident because nothing really happens by accident. I think I worked really hard for it, but I actually never intended to be a restaurant. I don't know if a lot of people know that. I came from a bar background. I bartended at a lot of bars like you just listed. And my very first bar I opened was called Daily Dose Sports Lounge in 2009 in Irvine. And when I developed Bosscat, my partner and I, we just wanted a cool bar that had real food because Daily Dose food kitchen was the size of this table. I had a convection oven, a little panini press. Like, it was not real food. We're cooking flatbreads and salads and try to get ahi poke,
But
anything.
you had to serve food so people drink a little more.
Right,
They
right.
stay.
But we were doing 10% food and 90% alcohol.
Right.
I also had that liquor license as well. But yeah, I wanted more food. I wanted to have a real kitchen. So when we were developing Bosscat, we said, at the time I drank whiskey. I was obsessed with it. So I was like, I want a whiskey bar. I want real food. And that's how Bosscat kind of came about. And then people started coming for their food and they were complaining. They're like, it's loud in here. It's a bar. And I'm like, well, that's kind of what I intended to be.
Sure.
And so
But was it like late night dining? as
yeah.
well?
Oh, yeah. We had served food till midnight, and had the bar open till 2. But people started coming for the food, and then next thing you know, we became a restaurant. The next store we opened, we said, okay, we're getting a lot of bad Yelp reviews. A lot of people want an actual dining area. So I said, okay, let's build a dining room. So when we built our Houston location, which is our largest location, we built a large private dining in the actual whiskey room, because people were also calling for the whiskey room in Newport. They'd be like, can we reserve the whiskey room? I'm like,
Because you have a room with
It's-
like an incredible, I don't know why I haven't been there, an incredible selection of whiskey. I love whiskey.
oh yeah, over 300 different whiskeys.
Wow.
But
That's
the room,
that called for a long night.
Calls for more than one night.
but the room was literally the size, like half the size of this room.
Yeah.
And I was like, you can't reserve the whiskey room. It's not something you really reserve. So that's when we built the second store. We were like, okay, we got to build a dining room. We got to build an area where people can reserve the whiskey room, because this is what people were wanting. And then next thing you know, we became a restaurant.
So what is, if you gave give me the pitch, if nobody's ever been to Bosscat. I haven't been to Bosscat. What is Bosscat?
I've been, Paul.
So what is it? Tell us what it
I will
is.
tell you my impression.
Okay.
And then, but they are good, positive. When you go to a whiskey bar, and it looks like now, when you go to a bar, and the bartender asks you what type of whiskey you like, and it's become like a wine bar.
Yeah.
Yes.
Talking about whiskey.
Yes.
And I didn't know that until I experienced it. And people have their idea of what they like. They like it all on the woody side. They like it in more dry side and sweet side.
Smoky.
So how do you train your staff and your bartender to have the response for that? If you have so much
Knowledge.
So
You gotta
much
knowledge.
to
selection
learn.
too.
Yeah, we actually have an intense training program. I call it my University of Bosscat. And it goes, we spend a week just on spirits alone, on top of the food.
Yeah.
And then throughout that, there's testing. And if you study and you pass certain tests, you get a pay bump, or there's incentives that you get for knowing your stuff. I actually want to create a program. It's funny you said like it's like a wine bar,
Yeah.
because like how wine bars have that Psalms. I wanted to kind of create some of that same experience where like you had a whiskey master that came to your table, so knew what you were ordering and would do the pairing
yeah.
or do a table side
So a
cocktail.
sommelier.
But
And-
for a
But
whiskey.
yeah,
Yeah.
do you have like a whiskey menu? So
Yes,
like a
we
wine menu?
call it a Bible.
Also with a breakdown of give a little bit of the characters. So you can separate the
It's
characters.
broken down by region, by like
Okay.
areas, like Kentucky, Ireland, Scotland. Like it's broken down by that. And it does have notes to them next to it. So we call it the Whiskey Bible.
So how do you call per se for wine we have a sommelier, but a whiskey master?
I was thinking Whiskey Master
I
or
think so,
or
yeah. Sounds
something
yeah.
something fun like that, and
What
have
a-
like a master certification.
What a job,
Oh yeah, and I have a couple of people on our team that I'm already priming up for it, and like okay,
Are there? I thought I knew somebody that went through some sort of like whiskey sommelier program. I don't know what they called it, but we had to get tested. Like a sommelier has to be able to identify this
Well,
stuff, blind and taste it.
Probably not in our area, but in a region where they actually
Yeah.
make whiskey, I'm
Scotland,
sure.
Ireland,
Yeah.
Japan.
Yeah,
or
they
Japan.
no, they have to go to some distillery and do tasting because whiskey is like wine.
Oh, yeah.
It's good today when it's aging, and then tomorrow it changes.
Exactly.
Once it's in a bottle, it's fine. But don't keep it open too long. So
Better tomorrow. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
because they more than wine, they age it like 20 years sometimes, 25 years. Or
and then all these, I would say, whiskey master become a mixologist, and they know what whiskey to use for what cocktail
Yeah.
you serve
Yeah.
it with. There's a little other additional pairing inside the glass.
yeah.
And
I
would
think
you
that'd be a lot of
have to
fun.
match the food to the whiskey? Would you
Oh,
have
yeah.
different,
I mean,
different
that's-
flights of whiskey for different?
That's how our food kind of came about too, because originally my partner wanted really healthy food, really clean food.
Okay.
Something that's not what we have now. I mean, we do, but chef was like, no, I want to make food that pairs well with whiskey. So he made a fantastic burger and a short rib dish, shrimp and grits, a pork chop.
And I have to say, I had a couple of experience in different locations of your Bosscat, and you didn't want each places to be copycat. Okay,
No pun intended.
No,
Boss
no,
cat,
no, no.
copycat.
It's
No
kind of-
pun intended, folks.
Is that supposed to be funny? So you let the chef. You
Yes.
actually have great chef and sous chef in every kitchen, and you let them do specials.
Yes.
And they love to come out sometimes see your guests. So it's not really just a bar ambiance. You really have a full-on service.
Yes.
And the chefs are really proud when you ask them to come over and talk about their food. And I had some fantastic, you mentioned short ribs, fantastic short
She
Oh,
ribs.
lets
thank
them out of the
you.
kitchen? She lets them come and talk to
Yes.
the public here?
Sure.
We actually have windows in the kitchen on purpose because we wanted the chefs to actually see the people's reaction when they ate, because that's the beauty part of why we do what we do, right? You want to see the reaction in them
And
enjoying the
and
food.
they look happy, so
Yeah.
I guess
But
they
that's
love
the
their
whole
job.
nature of the show. Behind the kitchen doors is a secret. We don't know what goes on back there.
Yeah, well, a lot of things going on there. you know, but fortunately, the kitchen is a little different space than the bar, and But I would say that your bars are about the same size as your kitchen.
Oh yeah,
It's amazing. You can sit 20, 30 people at the bar.
yeah.
And
It wraps around.
Yes.
And we did that on purpose because we wanted people to meet each other across the bar. Or if they saw, we wanted to be engaging, and to not have the only location that has the wall is the orange location.
Yeah.
But most of the bars would kind of wrap around because we wanted people to engage with each other.
Tell us that story about the bottle in birdcage.
The what?
Bottle, a whiskey bottle in a
the bottles in the
birdcage.
Oh,
A bottle in a
he
bird
wants to
cage.
get deep real fast.
Okay, all right. Bottle in a bird cage. Now you lost me. Okay.
Okay, well, because you haven't been by, so you
Yeah.
don't see. So it's an element part of our design.
Drunken parrot or something.
And it is actually symbolic of I call it the windows of my soul, because the first store that got developed was our orange location. And when we were building that store, I was going through previously very tough time in my life.
I know. I don't know if you want to talk much
Yeah,
about
no, we can
it,
talk about it.
because it's unbelievable. You have a big turn in your life.
Oh, yeah.
But
And
let's go back to the cake.
Yeah,
because
so
that's a
I
very
was-
You
big,
gotta leave. Now you gotta give us a little. You can't leave
Yeah,
that just
short-
hanging out
but it's
there.
a very symbolic
Very
thing.
dramatic thing in my life, but we'll talk about that later.
Short story long. I was just going through really bad heartbreak, very depressed, very suicidal.
Ooh.
And I went through this for years, just wanting to just die. I just like, oh, I'm over this. Why am I here? What am I doing this for? I don't want to be here anymore. And I just was miserable. I would only leave my house to make donuts in the morning. There was a good 2 years of my life where I failed my team. I was only waking up to make donuts. I go back home, crawl into bed, cry myself to sleep, and I just wanted to die. But I knew I couldn't do that. Like, that's not an option as much as I wanted to do that. And after years of that, you don't want to feel that way when you're depressed and suicidal. You don't, like, people are like, oh, just get out of the
Just
house,
snap
and
out of it.
just do this, do that. And it's like, when you're in that deep, you don't want to do anything. And I didn't want to feel that way anymore. I was just like,
I could tell, because you were always really happy to see people and greet people as friends, and very
Yeah.
enthusiastic, very positive after that.
yeah, I mean, I think you kind of, with work is different and then personal life's different, right? You kind of put on this face, this show, this front for everyone because you kind of have to. But then, deep down inside, you're lonely, you're sad,
But how do you run a business? I went through a period of deep depression once, and it was very hard to keep the business going.
It's hard. I mean, I have
'Cause you
my
just wanna hole
partner.
up, yeah.
I have my partner to thank. I have the team to thank because they all, they all kept doing what they did and picked up the slack and, But when we were building the store, I was like, okay, still, that's kind of what I was ingrained in the building process at that time, not really running day-to-day operations, which was great too because I got to express what I was feeling within the art of building the stores. So that's why there's a lot of undertones. People don't know a lot of the things that I was going through, but there's undertones of it in the store. You can't tell by looking at it. You're like, oh, that's really pretty. That's a really pretty
So
whiskey
this is
room.
why you put the bottle in a cage as a symbol. You were the birds inside the cage.
I felt trapped. I was so trapped by my emotions and trapped by my feelings. I couldn't move. I was at a stand. It was years. It wasn't like I was sad for a month. It was years. I was feeling like this, so trapped, so alone, and I just don't want to feel like that. So I'm like, I want to release all this. I don't want to feel this anymore, and I want to lock up what are my addictions, which is alcohol, alcohol and love, and I locked that up in the cage. And I said, you know what? From now on, I don't want to feel this anymore. I'm not going to let this have power over me anymore, because it has powered over me for so long and controlled what I did. And I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be a prisoner anymore.
What
So-
a powerful image. And to put it out
Yeah,
publicly.
it's
like that.
amazing, and you won. You made it happen.
Thank you.
And now you control your life in a positive way, and look at what you achieved.
Oh.
And, it's unbelievable.
Appreciate that.
So you.
It isn't that part of, not to dwell on this anymore than we need to, but I had a bar for a number of years, Kelly McHugh's in Mission Viejo, and we loved serving and we loved drinking, we loved all this stuff, but that can easily turn into an addiction. So
Oh.
many people in that business
Easy.
become
I mean,
alcoholics.
That's
yeah.
me. I
Right.
was an alcoholic addict. I mean, when you're an addict, you'll always be an addict.
Yes.
You're just addicted. You just got to you direct your addiction to the right path, because you can go either way, but you're going to have it no matter what. I still have it. I don't go shopping, because if I buy one thing, I'm going to buy the whole store. I don't eat chips. If I eat salt and vinegar chips is my, like, Achilles heel. If I eat one, I'll eat the whole bag.
So do you not
I-
drink anymore?
I don't drink anymore. Yeah.
So you run a bar and you don't drink?
Yeah, 11 years
Actually,
sober.
lucky me, Leslie, our partner, and I, we went for dinner, and because she loved Thai food, from some reason, because you like the spices, I guess, but she would not drink, so I don't drink alcohol. No, I was shocked, because she owned bars and
Very
restaurants,
successful
and
bar,
she
yeah.
didn't drink, and amazing turnaround. Congratulations.
No, thank you.
Absolutely.
Appreciate
Well, thank
that.
you for sharing that too. So what's the name Bosscat mean? Why?
So Bosscat was my nickname.
Oh, you were the Bosscat.
I was a Bosscat. Yeah. So when I had the sports bar, my business partner, John, he's a really tall guy. I'm sure you guys all seen him around the restaurant. He's 6'11", big, tall.
Wow, that's big tall. Yeah.
And everyone assumes that he's the owner, right? Okay, but this is he is the owner. But back when we had the sports bar, before he was my partner, people were just assuming that he's the owner. And his friends would kind of tease him and be like, she's the boss.
She's the Bosscat.
She's the real boss.
She's a real boss, yes.
So they started calling me Boss Cat. And my partner would tell me, he's like, my friends call you Boss Cat. I'm like, well, what's a Boss Cat? I would Google it and nothing would come up. Now, if you Google Boss Cat, there's like all sorts of things. There's Boss Cat eyelashes, Boss Cat this, Boss Cat that. But back then I Googled it. There was nothing Boss Cat. I'm like, what? And so when I saw him the next time, I said, can I ask you something? He's like, what? I said, what's a Boss Cat? Why do you call me Boss Cat? He's like, you're the Boss Cat. He's an English guy. He's like, you're the Boss Cat.
Yeah.
That's you. You are the boss. You're the Boss Cat.
Sort of like Top Dog or Boss
Yeah,
Cat,
exactly.
the Big Dog. or-
Yeah, exactly. It's the female version of Big Dog, I guess you could say. Yeah. So I imagine this like slick looking,
I'm sure
So-
a lot of people don't even know when they go into your restaurants. They must ask the server. Do the servers have?
The servers know, because that's part of
Yeah.
their training.
Okay.
Yeah.
the story.
It's
Good.
part of the story. It's part of the training.
Yeah.
But the guests don't know a lot, because a lot of times I'll bring it up or they'll ask me and I'm like, oh, that was my nickname.
But
It's a
actually,
cool name.
That's why I'm Miss Boss Cat on my social media.
Yeah, it's pretty good because people actually don't forget the name.
It's a very cool name.
You say, because
thank
it's
you.
unique.
Yeah. So when we were coming up with the restaurant names, or I should say bar, because we didn't know it was going to be a restaurant, we were coming up with all sorts of names, and then I kind of jokingly was like, "Oh, we should call it Boss Cat." And
There
then
you go.
my partner actually was down for it. He's like, "You know what? That's kind of catchy, and there's
Very
a story.
catchy.
There's a story behind it. So let's do
So,
that."
so your partner and you are the owners.
Yes, we're the founders.
And how many employees you have total now?
Oh,
an idea.
Like
So she's so big she doesn't even know. She doesn't even know anymore.
I know it's like 400 something maybe.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And
That's-
so you do have a good management team. You have to.
Yes. Yes.
And then,
And we've made some of them owners.
yeah.
So John and I are founders, and then we've made 6 other people owners.
That's interesting. That's
Yeah,
an interesting
so-
way to grow.
Yeah, we've always said, because him and I, we've come from nothing, and we were employees at one point, and when I actually wanted to open up my first bar, I used to tell my boss when I was bartender, I said, one day I'm going to open up a bar, and she used to just laugh at me and tell me, no, you don't want to do this. Like, you don't want to be in this business. Like, I'm like, no, I think I want to do that. And she kind of always just push that down and kind of not like, instead of being a mentor and like guiding me, she kind of dismissed me. And I said, I don't ever want to be that way.
I think they push you a little bit if you say, hey, I will
Yeah.
do it.
Motivation.
Well, you know what? She actually ended up firing. Another story. They got a divorce. They ended up firing all the bartenders. I was one of the bartenders they fired, and that pushed me to open up my first bar. So yes,
There you
thank
go.
you, Viva.
Can I bring up another point? We had the great Steel Platt in here years ago talking about the art houses.
Oh yes,
And
I
he
know
was,
Steele.
He was a bartender, and just like you, just worked in a million places, and then ran some places, and finally built his own place. But to take it to that next level, Chef and I talked about this before, to run multiple places in multiple states, that is a whole nother breed of cat.
Yeah, I'm talking about that. Are you going to keep expanding?
So we would love to, and
Yeah.
we were supposed to go into Arizona, but building costs has gone up so much. It's quadrupled, and we just right now we can't keep growing right now with how much everything's costing. So
But you got
we were trying to get creative and
you got a
find,
concept, and like eventually private equity came to Steel and took
Yeah.
it over,
Yeah, but
and
and that's the dream, right?
That's the thing is, even when you have a concept, you have to have a spin-off of a concept now to bring something else, especially if you do an orange candy. I don't know if this is your idea, maybe you can do a new Bosscat concept, maybe
Yeah.
that's what you
a
plan
small
to
one
do.
or a cafe, a mini or something.
Yeah.
But you have to. The concept used to be you got a place and then you open 2 or 3, and now people are telling me I can't. It costs so many millions to open
And-
one
yeah,
place.
it's
I can't
insane.
make that back. My investors will only make money if I build 20 of them or 10 of them. or whatever.
Right. Yeah, and that's even a gamble. That's even if you find someone to buy you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But
But
I don't know.
Yeah, it looks like your concept is you own it, your concept on your own, because you want to have the.
We
That's why
do.
That's why we call you Bosscat.
Yeah.
You have to have a little bit of control.
yeah, we do.
So-
We're self-funded, so we own all of it.
But if you have, it look like you have fantastic managers also.
We do.
Who want maybe to partner with you, and that
Yeah.
will be probably.
Yeah, and that's why
yeah.
we made 6 people owners, because a
Yeah,
lot of
that's
them were with us day one. Even JC, our what do you say, accounting, because he does more than accounting. But he was with me since before I even met my partner. So
Do you do ownership to some of your chefs as well?
our chef is a partner as well. Yes.
Yes, I'm sure they really love that, and but for 2 reasons, they love to be having ownership, but also for you, they're not going to live tomorrow.
Yes.
I mean, so they are attached to your business.
Yeah.
It's really good.
And it will run the same if you're not there. That was the problem with my bar. When I wasn't there, it didn't run the same.
You know, yeah. People have moods.
But I'm saying,
They have good days and bad days.
you talked about Pascal's. As enormously successful as you were and famous, there weren't 5 Pascals. There weren't 10 Pascals because there was only one of you. And people wanted to see you.
I was actually, I was not in that business mode to train others. I was very exclusive.
Yeah.
This is what I want, and I don't think any other
Yeah.
can do that.
Exactly.
Because
That's not scalable.
my concept was very my identity.
Yeah.
And so, but yours is more open because you have bars. I never had really bars and then so and you know, you're a great example of how
thank
to
you.
develop a concept. And if he works once, works twice, works four times, and
Which leads to my next question. Now you got a concept. It hit. It's turned into multiple units. All the challenges that is. Maybe it goes nationwide. Maybe it stays where it's at. Why go out on a limb and open yet another concept? This 10 Sushi and Cocktail Bar.
So 10 Sushi and Cocktail Bar used to be 10 Asian Bistro. And it was next door to the original Bosscat in Newport Beach. I don't know if you're familiar with that property.
MacArthur. Huh?
Yes, I'm MacArthur. Yeah, that property was a unique property. It had 3 businesses on one. It had a nightclub, a sushi restaurant, massive sushi restaurant, by the way. It was 5,000 square feet.
Wow, that's big.
And then Bosscat, which was where the first Bosscat was.
How big was the first Bosscat?
3,000 square
3,000.
feet.
And I have to say, I've been to when it was open to the nightclub. It was lying out of
nightclubs are crazy
the weekend
business,
was crazy. There's
Yeah,
no
back
place
in the
like
day.
this anymore.
No, I know, right? Yeah, the first Bosscat was 3,000 square feet with the little side patio I built halfway through.
Squeeze a little more in there. Yeah.
Squeeze a little. Patio doesn't count, right?
Right. For the
No,
rent. and
nobody
for
knows.
Right.
Push out onto the sidewalk here.
So originally, when we went into that location, our ex-partner Vinny, he had bought the nightclub. He had told us before we had even opened up Bosscat. He said, "Don't." We were going to originally go into a property in Irvine, and he called us and said, "Don't sign your lease. I just bought the nightclub. There's a space next door. You can put your concept there." And I was like, I don't know. That thing's been a million concepts. I don't know if I like that area. But let's just go look at it. I looked at it. I fell in love with the patio. I was like, oh, I love back then I was like all about day drinking, patio, outdoor.
And you start owning the block. The whole block was,
And
Yeah,
there aren't many
so-
bars where you can date, where you can go outside. Most of them are dark and inside.
Why?
Yeah.
Why is there not more
Yeah.
outdoor bars here in beautiful Orange
know.
County?
Wow.
More rooftops. That's my goal.
Yes.
Anyways, so
Have you-
10 because
Just on a quick note of use, I went to Huntington Beach, to Bolsa Chica State Park, and there are Heritage Brewing has
yes,
Heritage or Barbecue
Yeah.
rather, and Sea Salt, the other place.
Yes.
And they are basically just big open air bars on
yeah,
the beach.
yeah.
I've never seen
Yeah,
that
Alicia
anywhere.
is doing a great job over there.
Okay.
10 was already there, so that was already running. And once we got into Bosscat and got Bosscat going, our partner Vinny was like, you know what? Can you guys? I don't run restaurants. Can you guys help me? So then we started helping him with 10, and then eventually he's like, I don't want to do this anymore because he has a day job. He's into big boy job. He don't want to be fooling around with the nightclub anymore. He's like, I'm done with all this. How about you guys buy me out and you take over. So we ended up kind of gradually 10 kind of just naturally became part of us. We picked it up. Yeah. And when we moved to the new location at Lakeshore, I told my partner, I said, I have an idea of how I want 10 to look. Just let me.
It's a beautiful design.
Thank you.
Oh,
I said, let me do it.
Yeah.
Let me get this idea out of my head because I'm an addict. So when you get an idea in your head,
Yeah.
it
Go
goes
away.
It's-
over
yeah,
and
it's there,
over
yeah.
like a record, haunting you until you do it, right? So I'm like, I need to get this out of my head.
Paul, you always ask me, say, where is the fine dining
Yes,
in Orange County?
absolutely.
If you go to that place in Irvine, the new place, it is really a combination of California flair and fine dining.
And fine dining, yeah.
With a great bar. And this is the modern way of fine dining.
I think so.
I think it's typical of California.
Because you even said when you did Pascal's, it's the kitchen. They're coming for you, and you're cooking, and you go out and all the famous chefs you talk about, Michel Richard and all these others. I come to meet the chef to taste their food. He comes out and talks to the audience. It wasn't about drinking. The bar was kind of an ancillary thing.
But now it's a step above, and so you go out and it's like an event.
It's an
Yeah.
event, right?
And you have good music, good drinks.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, have you ever heard that quote? Get a girl that can do both.
Okay.
Get you
We
one
won't
that
go
can
too
do.
deep into that
Get
quote,
you
but-
one that can do both. This is it. You can either come casual or you can come dressed up
Yeah.
on a date night. Like you can do both.
And everybody feels comfortable.
And that was the main the main point of everything. We wanted everyone to feel
And
comfortable.
it is also in a business area, so you have outside business travelers that come and dine, mix with the locals. It's really a
Yes.
mix.
That was the problem with my bar. It was there for 10 years, but Kelly McHugh's, but it was just a bar, and it had no day business because it was in a suburban area.
Yeah.
So there
Yeah,
was no
those are
business.
hard. We had a couple concepts like that in Texas, and we had to sell it because it was hard during the weekday. It's a ghost town.
ghost
but
town.
on the
Till-
weekends, fine.
yeah.
But
Yeah,
you can't. Restaurants not sustainable on 3 days a week business.
No.
I don't know.
Can I ask you about the nightclub? You don't own the nightclub. though.
No, we're actually fully out of that property. That property is actually fenced off. It's going to be turned into condos.
Yeah, it's been turned.
We
teared
moved.
Down.
We are where. Do you know where the Il Fornaio is?
Sort of, yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like iconic restaurant. It's
Yeah,
been there
right,
for
It's,
exactly.
eons.
it's right across.
We're right on Von Carmen and Quartz.
Oh, yeah,
We're the
okay.
Lifetime
We have
Fitness.
a big gym fitness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something
Yeah,
exactly.
Lifetime
Yeah.
Fitness, Il Fornaio.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
been there for like 30 years.
If you look
40
on
years,
in
40
front of El
years.
Is that south
Fornaio,
of the airport?
if you look,
Yes.
Right.
if you go to El Fornaio, you look ahead. You have to turn your head.
Yeah.
Why have I not gone there? This is the perfect place for me. I got to
You
go.
should go.
I have
the-
no why I'm
And the parking is right next door, easy
Yeah.
access. And all, right.
So I got to ask you about whiskey because you're one of these. There's a new trend. When I had a bar, this was in the '90s. Everybody was just trying to get microbrewed beers. That was the new trend. The Yard House started then. We started then. It was trying to get people to drink other than Bud and Coors, which is what 50% of bars sold in those days. And then things like whiskeys, maybe tequila was starting to happen, vodka a little bit, but whiskey was just a forgotten category. Gin and whiskey, we couldn't give that stuff away. And all of a sudden in the last
there
5-10 years.
was a time became more like martinis.
Oh,
Everybody wanted to have
They wanted
martini.
martini,
happy
Yes.
hour,
and they
you know.
wanted,
Yeah.
everyone wanted a vodka-based drink, and every guy
But
wanted maybe
now-
bourbon, but
Now the culture on whiskey, I go back to the wine
absolutely.
culture. Whiskey, bourbon is really a new thing. People have knowledge of it.
And around the world, one of the biggest
yeah.
whiskey consumers in the world is Japan.
I read recently it's India.
India too. I think I read that same thing too. Yeah, India,
Yeah.
Japan, places you
Yeah.
wouldn't picture at all having
I
whiskey
know, right?
cultures here. All right,
Yeah.
so why whiskey?
So this is the story behind whiskey because I was that girl that only drank vodka drinks.
Yeah.
I was.
Because you can mix it with everything, and it was
Yeah, and
supposed to
I
be-
wasn't drinking for taste. Let's just say I was
Exactly,
drinking
right.
for
It's
effect.
just a tasty cold.
I was drinking for effect.
clear drink. Yeah.
right. And vodka will give you that effect. You can put it in anything.
Yeah,
and-
and
right.
you can't taste it, right? But I got invited by one of the vendors, alcohol vendors from Bullet. He's like, "Oh, come to this Bullet event."
A big bourbon out of Kentucky.
Yes, and I was like, "Okay, cool." So I go. I always go to all the free events because I'm like, free booze, I'm there. So I go to the event and I go to the bar and I say, "Oh, can I get a vodka Red Bull?"
Vodka Red Bull.
No,
That's going to
oh.
give you a
I
punch.
know.
That's a long.
I remember. Yeah.
That-
Wow.
This is how long ago.
That's
this
a,
was.
Caffeine
but
and
that's
booze.
why you have long nights.
Right. Right. So I'm like, "Oh, can I get a vodka Red Bull?" And then he looks at me, Adam Forrest. He looks at me. He's like, "No, you're not drinking vodka Red Bull at my whiskey Bullet event. Like,
Yeah.
you are drinking this." And he hands me this menu, and there's like 5 Bullet cocktails. I said, "Ugh, fine. I hate whiskey. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
But I'll do it." So I started at the top, and it was like this apple bologna. I drank it. I was like, "Ooh, this is good." And then drank the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one, and then at the end, I was like, "I love whiskey.
Yeah.
This is the best." And I
Because whiskey
kind of
has a complex flavor to it. No, vodka,
Yeah,
I don't think
yes.
does. Yeah.
Once
And-
again, I go back to wine. You
Very
know,
much.
you when during the fermentation, you can flavor, and you can give the woody taste or the smoky taste from.
Yeah.
Well, it depends
But these
if you-
cocktails, they
yeah.
all had different flavors. They were just delicious. And not, by the end, of course, after 5 cocktails, you're like, I love everything, right? But after that event, I kind of started, as an addict, started diving into what whiskey really was. And then I started finding all these different stories and then bottles and then all these different brands. And
American
I
whiskey,
started,
Scotch whiskey, Irish whiskey, all these
yeah, I
different
started
Canadian-
discovering a whole world, and I was like, "Oh my God, there's way more to the world than just vodka."
Yeah.
No, you're talking about being an addict. So very quickly, you out of that.
Yeah.
Can you give a tip for people who are addict but still appreciate a nice little drink and want to have a normal life and without
It's
cutting off
hard. That's
completely?
a really hard thing. You have to really have strong self-control.
Yeah.
So I always say I have strong willpower, but I have absolute no self-control.
Yeah.
None. Because I know, I wish I could have just 1 or 2 glasses of wine with dinner, or just be able to sit and just like enjoy. But I can't. I'm like 0 to 100. It's like all or nothing. And
One is too many, and 100 isn't enough.
right. So it's hard. You have to really be self-aware and really know how to control. But if you know you're an addict, you just shouldn't drink.
I agree. If
You
you
should-
really are an addict, you
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
moderate.
Because you don't know how, right? And it's not a bad thing. And I try to not educate, because I'm not a teacher, but I try to tell people being an addict is not a bad thing. You just have to learn how to be addicted to the right things and not do alcohol and drugs.
interesting,
Like it's a great trait. I call it a trait instead of a disease, because it just makes me
Yeah.
feel like, oh, you
Yeah.
have cancer or something, even though they
But you
technically do say it's a
You were
disease.
depressed at that time too.
Yes. Well, you know what? Because I used to use drugs too,
Yeah.
and I always thought, oh, I'm using drugs to run away from my problems. Maybe I was depressed my whole life and I didn't know it. I didn't know, but now being sober and looking back, I was doing that to feel something, because
How
I
long-
was so numb.
yeah.
I was so numb to everything.
How long have you been sober now?
11 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Well, I admire somebody who can recognize this and deal with it, and then you're still around it, though. That's got to be a temptation, or that's got to be, you would think that would not work.
Yeah, and then when you go into like my partner did an outpatient rehab, and she was like, "You guys own a bar? No, you need to sell your business.
Yeah,
You need to get
that's
all the
what I would
alcohol
think.
out of your house. You need to go." And we're like,
No, I
we're
can't
not
do it."
gonna change our lives like that. We're gonna, you know what? We're gonna do the opposite and just indulge ourselves in it, but just don't. It's like the ultimate test, right? You have
Yeah.
to, but we had to, because we had no choice. This is the only business that we both kind of
Do
knew.
you share that with your staff and bartenders? And because some bartenders may be addict too, because
Yeah.
they like
I
to
think a
taste
number are,
everything.
yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of addiction that runs rampant through our hospitality industry. We used to talk about it more during like our pre-chefs. Like we used to have a big pre-chef every Sunday. My partner would talk. We're very candid and very open about our stories. But we don't preach sobriety on anyone. I don't wish sobriety upon anyone. But yeah, I have had a lot of staff members that would come up and they know our story and they said, actually became sober because of you, or you're an inspiration to stop drinking and to show me that I can still drink and I can still be around alcohol and not have to drink.
And can I give you one other perspective? So I had a bar where we were trying to sell upscale beers and wines and tequilas and stuff here, and yet I've never been a big drinker, and I've been around people. Many members of my family are alcoholics, and so I'm very anti kind of alcohol. And they're like, well, how can you be around a bar? Isn't this ring against your creed here? I said, we're teaching people to drink better so they drink less.
Yeah.
It's expensive. It's filling. It isn't just taking shots and cheap stuff and cheap beer and cheap booze. If you can learn to moderate your drinking, if I'm only going to have one or two drinks, then I can afford something better and I'll taste it more. Where you said you didn't feel anything. Well, you probably didn't taste anything either. It was just food
Being
and alcohol.
numb. No. I mean, when I said I was numb, I was just numb to life.
Well, yeah. So you weren't enjoying
I wasn't. No, I wasn't.
what you were, the
So-
food you're tasting. And
So
what
Paul,
you're drinking.
going back to, I would say back behind the kitchen door.
Yes, right.
You know, so because a lot of employees and staff members in the kitchen also have some addiction.
Oh yeah.
You know, and this is why they don't show up. They come
Yes.
late, something like that.
Or drinking on the
And
job.
they're doing on jobs. You know, they go under the
Yeah.
table, they drink. And
Yeah.
you don't
Or in the
even know.
lockers. I've gone in the.
Yeah.
I've gone to see in the locker. I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
there's a bottle.
Yeah, I know. Where's my brandy? You know, because they don't drink
'Cause
good
it's
stuff.
late
They
night
drink
and
whatever
it's-
they can grab. You know.
Yeah.
It's late night, it's
Yeah.
party, it's having a good time.
And even not during the job.
Yeah.
And then they say they take a 10-minute break. So where are they?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I used to hide shots in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So,
Customers would buy me shots and be like, hide it in the bathroom.
no, so don't bring Grand Marnier in the kitchen because you will buy more than you need. You know.
Right.
So, but the fact is, they look at your experience that you share, and you're really
Yeah.
open to share. I think a lot of them will understand that, you know, because they suffer.
Yes.
Absolutely.
They're suffering in silence too.
Yeah, it's silence.
And they don't see a
suffer
way
it.
out other than
Yeah.
just leaving the whole industry.
And then the staff around them suffer as well.
Yeah.
And also there's no really good relationship. But once they flip back to being sober, look at that, the success you can get.
Yeah.
You know.
And you
Well,
can
because
still be in
we're-
the industry and
Oh,
be
yeah.
sober. That's the message here.
And we have a different culture too, because like we're not the owners that are drinking with the staff,
Right.
right? We have actually a total no drinking allowed on property, just because in the beginning we were like, okay, we'll do shift drinks, and we did that, but then like people get in fights or they would have a little too much, and you're liable as an owner. You're liable if they leave your property and they're driving. You're liable. So we just said, you know what, no drinking. There's no drinking allowed.
Yeah.
I'm with you. And I think
So-
that's been too long part of the culture of bars and restaurants. Oh,
So
have a
no,
shot, have a
no
drink.
more sushi chef with sake around and the sushi chef like shot.
One
you
for
know.
them, one for me.
It
Yeah.
used to be so
Oh, yeah.
normal. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it still is, but yeah, alcohol and addiction runs rampant in the hospitality industry. I think it's because one, creatives, right? Creatives are have tendencies for addiction because we're creative. And
You're going
that's
to try something, you explore something, you're going to do something. Maybe if you think it makes you happier, funnier, more creative or whatever.
yeah. And it's just that environment. It's that party environment that we're in, right? We're
And it's
serving
late night and
people.
it's long hours
Yeah.
and all that.
And they're like, some of them are hooking up and
So
Someday we'll do a show on that here.
honestly, there's a few things I want to approach. This week you're going to be part of the test of Irvine. Can you tell us more?
Oh, yeah, right. Let's
we're
promote
not
that.
only going to be we are hosting it. So
We're hosting it.
yeah, so
Oh, way.
you're talking about how restaurants, expanding different avenues and different things.
Right.
This is one of the avenues that I've been exploring is our production side of things. We also do a lot of music festivals, like bartending at staffing all the bars for that, and then we're doing this big Taste of Irvine event tomorrow. Hopefully to see you.
Where, when,
Where?
how? Yeah.
It's at the park at Lakeshore, so it's right in front of Bosscat, so you can be able to see Bosscat if you
Okay.
come. And there'll be 500 people there, and a bunch of restaurants from Irvine, and
And this is on a
lots of
Thursday?
spirits.
You said
Yeah,
tomorrow?
Tomorrow from 5 to 8.
So for those listening later, we're doing this in
Thursday,
August.
yeah,
This is
August.
August the 14th.
Paul, should we go there?
I'd like to.
You should.
I'd like to. August the 4th. What are the hours? How do they get
5
tickets?
to 8.
And what,
There's tickets are available on Eventbrite. There's a link in my bio. You can go on Instagram.
and
at
what do I
Taste
see
of
if I go there?
Irvine.
Multiple restaurants, multiple bars? What?
Yeah, lots of restaurants. We have Bosscat 10, Il Fornaio will be there, Urban Ranch, where
Yeah.
Chef Jonah will be
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
Goldfinch, Warehouse 72, Puestino,
Oh,
A pretty
fantastic.
cool lineup
Yeah.
of stuff here, yeah.
Yeah,
On El Fornaio, of course.
yes, of course. Yeah, Il Fornaio will be there. Pandora will be there
Yeah,
as
yeah.
well. Lifetime Fitness. Lots of booze too. We have Happy Dad. We also have Bullet will
What's
be
this
there.
Happy
Forge
Dads?
Gin.
Happy Dads is everywhere now. Where did Happy
I
Dads? We got to get them on the
know.
show. They're,
We can totally get them on the show.
we
We can get
suddenly-
Allie Taylor here.
Everywhere I go, I see Happy Dads seltzers.
Yes.
Everywhere.
They are blowing up. Have you seen the Happy Mom too? I thought that was cute.
No.
We need a happy sober mom.
yeah.
Yeah, they're a seltzer. And yeah, they're
That's a whole nother category. Where did seltzers come from and why are they so hot? My wife loves seltzers.
because I think they're light and refreshing
Mm-hmm.
and easy to drink, and you can drink a lot of it and not get too
A little
wasted.
lower in alcohol, with about 4 or
Yeah.
5% or something.
Are they seltzer with alcohol?
Yeah,
Yeah,
oh
oh,
yeah.
yeah.
they're all-
Really?
Yeah.
Alcoholic seltzers are the hot category.
Yeah,
now.
it beat like when White Claw came out. It beat, I think, beer out of the water. Like
It is
just went,
a
it
huge
just went
category.
crazy.
You go to every bar and restaurant now, they have a separate category,
Really?
beer, wine, booze, and
Seltzers.
seltzers. If you go to microbreweries, they're now offering seltzers.
Yeah, and they make their own. Yeah,
Make their own, yeah.
So it's totally different than Mock Cocktail. Mock Cocktail is gone now.
No,
Mocktails?
I think there's some, I
Oh
think there's still
no,
around. No, they're big.
mocktails is a huge. There's bars now that's just mocktails.
Exactly. Non-alcoholic cocktails.
Non-alcohol, yeah, bars. We actually, Chris, when we redid our menu, he specifically made a mocktail menu, and and they're priced like the same as a cocktail,
Yeah, it's
but they're
just no booze
also
in it.
made. They're also handcrafted very well.
Complex flavors.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not just like having a lemonade, right? But yeah, mocktails is a huge thing.
I think mocktails are here to
so
stay.
mocktails could be a good alternative if you want to
Yes.
go away from,
From-
alcoholic
yeah.
cocktail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do every once in a while, but I don't like because of calories. I rather eat my
yeah,
calories.
But there is a sizable portion. I saw it at my bar 10 years ago, or started. People who want to come out who aren't going to drink. And you don't want that to be the reason they don't come to your bar or restaurant. So there are a growing number of people. In fact, I just read a study this morning that said alcohol use, alcohol consumption is at its 30-year low.
Yes. Yes.
Particularly younger people who are usually the bigger drinkers, and then you slow down as you get older and get jobs and families and whatever. They're drinking less and less. So all of these alternatives, lower alcohol consumption seltzers, non-alcoholic mocktails, are critical if you want. You don't want a no vote. 10 people are saying, let's go out to there. Oh no, all they got is that. I'm not going.
Yeah.
You got to have something for the crowd that's not going to drink.
So,
Yeah.
my friend Leslie, what are you going to serve at the Taste of Irvine?
Ah, yeah. What are we going to
Oh,
taste?
so 10 Sushi's doing a Wagyu hand roll, which chef cuts fresh from like this tomahawk. It's really delicious. And then Bosscat's going to be doing a pulled short rib tostada with barbecue.
Okay.
And the mini donuts will be there.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll have
Yeah,
assorted
that's
mini
what the
donuts.
thing, yeah.
And there's a
Yeah.
whole nother episode. When did Wagyu? I never even heard of Wagyu until a couple years ago. This certain type of Japanese beef or
Yes.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Japanese, but they start to raise Wagyu beef in US.
Yes, but
And
that is
with more affordable, and it
Yeah.
took a couple of generations of beef to have really the real close Wagyu to
My
Japan.
11-year-old grandson loves burgers, loves
But-
steak, loves
But
tacos.
still-
he only wants Wagyu.
Oh,
Well,
he's
still- yeah.
fancy.
Only
Still, American
Wagyu.
Wagyu is fine, but the Japanese Wagyu
Yeah,
is
the A5. You
but
can't beat
also,
that.
you have to pay the price.
Yeah.
Extreme
Right.
grade, you know.
Yeah,
So-
and you gotta be careful because some restaurants kind of pass off Wagyu and then it's not Wagyu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. It's got to have that name on it for him to eat it. It's got to say Wagyu Burgers or something. All right, how do they reach you? We're out of time.
Yes.
Social media, I'm on Instagram, LinkedIn, Miss Bosscat,
Miss
Facebook.
Bosscat. Okay,
Yeah.
that's how they look you up. And the places and the restaurants, give them us again here. Bosscat
Yep.
Kitchen and Libations and 10 Sushi and Cocktail Bar. They're where?
We have Irvine, Orange, Houston, Dallas.
Soon to be across the country.
Yes.
So if you go on the website, there's a Bosscat location.
Yes.
There's a whole page on
Yeah.
And the Miss Mini Donuts are still
Miss
happening,
Mini
but they're
Donuts.
out of the back door here.
Yes, in Irvine. So people
And
order
you-
online.
You go
They're-
to farmers market as well.
Yes, I used to. I haven't lately because I've been busy with the baby. But
How old's
I
the
was
baby?
at the 6 months.
There you go. Boy or girl?
Boy.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is he going to be the boss cat?
Not
He's
yet.
the boss. He's bossing me. But yeah, people can order the donuts online on our website, missminidonuts.com, and then we can deliver to them or pick up at Bosscat.
And I'm sure you will love if our audience, listeners, to say, "Oh, we heard about you on the podcast."
Yes,
And,
I do. I
please,
love
yeah,
that. I
please.
do love that.
Please.
We'd make it special and.
You looking for a discount? Is that what you want here?
No,
Discount code?
I'm looking for a nice little donut.
I love donuts.
And
What a cool combination of businesses from an unlikely place. and I thank you
you.
for being so honest and open about your life and your background and your
Yes.
still love and passion for the business.
Thank you.
And how you're just making it happen. You are the modern
you
restaurateur.
know what?
Trying to survive.
You were managing to be your own boss and you boss on your own life.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
That's why,
Yeah.
There you go.
take your life in control and
Yeah.
be successful.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Oh,
much.
thank you, Chef.
Well, there you have it. There's some real life examples of why you should tune in every week. We have fun. We talk about the reality as well. What's happening behind the kitchen doors? And where's it all going? Maybe it's a whole bunch of crazy concepts from Bosscat kitchens to sushi and donuts. Figure that all out. Whole new world. Hear all about it each and every week right here in Orange County's only community radio station, OC Talk Radio, streaming live from our studios here at the University of California, Irvine's Field Applied Innovation Center.